folks, to another episode of Comiholics. No,
That's the best you got?
no.
That's the best you can do.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Comiholics.
Where are you pointing? Hey, look, Jabba the Hutt. Hey, nice to see you.
All you comophiles, you just had to come back, didn't you?
This is going to be the worst show ever.
No.
Worst
This will
show ever.
Listen, man, it's going to be spectacular.
Spectacular failure.
That's right.
So what are we doing?
We're going to talk about comics, because, well, I don't know. Why do we talk about comic books? I guess because there's 3 people out there that really love this show and we don't want to let them down.
Well, no.
This is for you.
2 of them like
Harry,
it. One of them
Francis,
watches it just because.
and Harold from Schenectady and...
from where?
Schenectady.
Oh!
Wow. Schenectady's down.
Oh, my head hurts.
Man down.
No, so we are going to stick to our normal format.
Talk about what we're reading first.
Yep.
And then I think segment 2, we're talking about the Marvel Now number ones.
Ones.
Handful of those have come out already, so we'll talk about those.
Not a lot, what, 7 or 8 issues?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
And then we're going to talk about...
the greatest comic book ever in the history of mankind.
It will just blow your mind.
Prison Pit, which I discussed briefly, book 1 last time, but now I've read up through book 4.
You just kept sending me books to read.
And these guys have read at least book 1.
We got somebody.
Turd Ferguson, are you on book 2?
Well, but I'm having to read it backwards, so
yeah. Well, you know,
I'm
tap the other side of the screen.
Style. Well, but then it takes me to the end of the book. If I tap it the other way.
Wasn't that where you want
Because
to
he
go?
said it.
you have to stand on your head.
Maybe I'll hold it like this. I don't know. But no, this is good stuff.
All right. So anyway,
save it. Save it.
Talk about what you're reading. So go ahead, grab your stack.
Okay.
Grab your stack.
That's what she said.
So.
Get the glare out of there. Deadpool. That's the old series.
Yeah. Well, I'm not quite finished. I had to read number 1 to catch up to the last show, so I'm still 2 more issues behind.
Have you read Deadpool number 1 yet of the new series?
Yeah, I read number 1.
Okay.
But this
Because we're going to talk about it again.
This has Hitmonkey in it. This is
what does? You're holding it off to the side. They can't see it. Over here. There we go. On the screen.
Issue 61.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think
Love
about
it.
Hitmonkey?
Well, first of all, my criticism about issue 1 to reflect on 61 is I was rather bored with issue 1, and I felt like they kind of sucked a little bit of the life out of Deadpool. I'll say it. And
okay, well, don't talk about
61 is more the true, it's the true ongoing in my eyes.
Well, it's over.
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's no
more Way. Way's gone.
Right.
In 1. So
he's retired.
I think that might have had a tremendous effect on Deadpool.
Well, I think you're wrong. But we'll get to that when we talk about Marvel Now.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the other books.
All right, fine. But I do like that. It's basically, he totally psychs out Hitmonkey at the end and convinces Hitmonkey that the man in the suit that was manipulating him to go out and make these hits against all these bad people was actually just a figment of his imagination. I thought that was rather brilliant.
The Black Swan?
Yeah. No, Hitmonkey.
The guy manipulating Hitmonkey.
Yeah. So that's what I got to say about that. So, Rachel Rising, number 12. Take a look at that.
What happens? I have not been reading the series.
In number 12, it's a big twisted turn of events. You understand that, that there's a lot of demonic happenings, influences going on, and you know that it's leading up to something bigger than just attacking this town, Salem.
Okay.
In this one, you basically meet the proto demon that is actually
the actual witch.
Yeah, the puppet master behind what's actually really going on. Above the witches, this is pretty.
Is it the devil?
End of the world.
Is it
devil
the devil
type stuff? Yes.
All right.
So pretty cool. I really like Terry Moore's writing and his art. It's very consistent. It's clean. It's crafty. If you're not reading Rachel Rising, you should.
And it's now available on Comixology.
Yes, and actually, you should drive all the way to Springfield and go to Killen Enterprises.
No, we're sold out. We don't have any issues.
Wait by the door till he gets more in. Drive all the way to Springfield. Wait by the door. Camp out. Damien will love
and then
that.
you'll be camping out for a couple weeks while
Right.
the new
Uh-huh.
issues come in, back in stock.
Hit Girl. Have you caught up on that? Oh, it's so much fun. It's got some of that early grittiness from the first Kick-Ass, but it's obviously based on Hit Girl, and her trying to hide the fact that she's stopped being Hit Girl, but she's still taking out all these mafia warlords, basically getting even for her father's death, and Kick-Ass. He lost his father too. So, but there's no Kick-Ass in this issue. Not really. I mean, they talk at school briefly, but it's primarily all about Hit Girl. So, Wolverine 315. Not on Wolverine.
I've got probably 6 months of Wolverine I need to read.
Okay. Well, you know what? I want to wait on that because I want to wait till you catch up and talk about it together. End Times. The Avengers.
I've kind of skimmed through it.
That's how I felt about it.
Like, for being the end of his run on Avengers, it just didn't feel like...
I download the digital copies and then I just kind of flew through them. So, how about ASM leading up to?
Yep.
Up to something.
Yep.
Very big.
Actually. Okay. Well,
something very, very big.
Let's talk briefly. Okay. So, 697, latest issue that has come out. 698 is coming out, I believe, this week. We've both read 698. The issue after this.
Yes.
This storyline was him facing the two hobgoblins.
Right.
Old hobgoblin, new hobgoblin. They're fighting each other, but he and Max have to.
But most importantly, the previous story to this was when Doc Ock, basically dying, decides that he's going to make one big impact on Earth, and he sets up these satellites where basically he can heat up the Earth like super fast and cause like massive global warming in an instant. And he basically threatens all of mankind that if they don't change their environmental ways, that he's just going to scorch the Earth.
Right. Scorched Earth. I mean, that's literally when you hear someone say of a scorched Earth scenario, I mean, that's what it was. And of course, Spider-Man stops him.
Right.
Doc Ock's on his deathbed.
He's captured, sent to the raft.
All right, so
this
697, this 696 and 697, I guess, were like an interlude, dealing with the Hobgoblin and some of the characters, and it was a fun little story. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular, but him and Max are always kind of fun, watching what they do. But after this issue, like, do we want to spoil 698?
Well, when's it come out?
I think it comes out this Wednesday.
If it comes out this Wednesday, this show's not going to be on until after that anyway. So
unless I get it on Tuesday,
we're fine.
So okay,
yeah,
so
let's spoil it.
Amazing Spider-Man 698. Basically, it starts out like it really feels like a .1 issue almost.
Just a run-of-the-mill Spider-Man.
Peter Parker's talking about his life. He gets a phone call from Mary Jane. He's like, "Oh, we had so much history.
He's thinking about getting back together with her." Yeah.
He's like talking about his job at Horizon Labs and how it's time for him to really step up and be the inventor he should be. And his whole life has been basically wasted time, and now it's time for him to really get down to it. And while all of this, kind of like basic, you're like, why are we hearing everything about Peter Parker's life? I mean, this is just retarded. And then while all of this is going on, suddenly Doc Ock wakes up from his coma, and he starts asking for Peter Parker.
Well, no, all he says is Peter Parker.
Well, the Avengers say he's asking for you.
Right. But that's all he keeps saying is
Peter Parker. And so they're like, well, how does Doc Ock suddenly know Spider-Man's true identity? So Spider-Man goes and he asks everybody to leave so he can be in there privately with Doc Ock. And Doc Ock is laying there and Doc Ock goes, I am Spider-Man.
Right.
And he goes, I am Peter Parker. And Spider-Man takes off his mask and says, well, no, now I'm Peter Parker. I've got your memories. I'm in your brain. You're stuck in my body. And,
it's Doc Ock.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And you realize that Doc Ock somehow is now in Peter Parker's body. Peter Parker is in Doc Ock's body.
Who is dying.
And Doc Ock dies.
Yeah.
He flatlines.
Well, flatlines, that's how it ends. He flatlines.
Well, I think he walks out of the room.
I bet they're going to revive him.
I don't think so.
You think they're really killing off Peter Parker?
Well, I think what's going to happen is he says that all of Peter Parker's memories are in his mind. in that body. So I think at some point down the line, like Madam Web and Doctor Strange will do
Doctor
something
Strange.
to make Doc Ock leave the
So
mind. And
who
Peter
do you
Parker
think
come
is
back
a
over.
supervillain that he teamed up with in order to make this happen? Do you think it was Doctor Doom?
I don't know that he teamed up with anybody. He just says, I'm a magician and I'm not going to give away my secret. And I don't know if even Dan Slott knows. If he just said, oh, this is awesome and we'll figure it out later. We'll retcon something into it to make it work.
Is Slott in number 1? Although there was no number 1 for Spider-Man.
There will be a number 1 with Superior Spider-Man.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking of. Is it Slott again?
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so. I have to say, hands down, he is one of my favorite Marvel writers.
Here's the thing,
He keeps
though.
it interesting every single time.
Well,
Craven Hunt, to me, was kind of hard to get through for some parts, but I still liked it.
Some of his other work has not been as amazing as his run on
I'm talking
Spider-Man.
about really? You think there's some ASM he did that wasn't quite...
There have been some stories here and there that have not been, and there's always
a lot
filler
of stories
stuff.
to do. I mean, he's doing...
I know, but I'm just
3
saying.
off one, and
but
then...
I'm saying within Marvel,
yeah, okay.
like when he did She-Hulk, it wasn't good. Like it was okay, but there was nothing special.
But I mean, his ASM though.
His ASM has been pretty solid.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as this goes, this is. I mean, that's a big change.
Cliffhanger.
That's a big change.
And what if they do decide to just kill Peter Parker?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Peter Parker's
they did in
brain and
Ultimate.
Doc Ock's body is dead.
The Ultimate Peter's dead. And isn't it kind of crazy? Like just recently they did Spider-Man, where he went to the alternate universe of Miles Morales, who is playing Spider-Man. So good stuff. Good stuff. I know you're not reading Uncanny X-Force, so.
But is that wrapping up the series?
Pretty much. It's just about over.
What have they been doing in Uncanny X-Force? Oh, now you got to open it up.
I got to open it up.
Now we got to take 4 minutes.
Oh, that is not
pages.
true.
Oh, let me see here. Wolverine screaming.
Yeah, no, Wolverine is... Oh,
Dokken is,
okay. I've got it.
screaming.
So Apocalypse, the reincarnation Apocalypse into this small child, has been captured by Sabretooth, the Blob, Mystique,
It's like the Brotherhood of Evil
Dokken.
Mutants.
Yeah, I think that's what they're calling themselves even. And they're trying to brainwash the kid to basically become Apocalypse. Meanwhile, the kid's struggling internally with that, and they've captured Wolverine, and they're putting him through all kinds of torture. Meanwhile, also Deadpool's, at this point, his healing factor doesn't exist.
Right.
And he's been seriously manipulated by the League. And in the end,
Looks like Apocalypse returns.
Apocalypse is coming back. So
Woo!
good stuff. I mean, it's entertaining. It's not my favorite, but it's good enough that I still want to keep collecting it.
But probably
So,
your favorite X-Men.
I think I like the art more than anything. I really like the art.
And the artist is?
Noto?
Sure.
Okay. I think it's changed throughout the... Oh, these are all number ones we've already read.
Zeros.
Cross Badlands. I just want to say this much.
You dropped it.
I did.
You dropped the
Like a
book.
bad habit.
Why?
It got redundant. Really redundant. The stories were not shocking enough. I think they kind of... It's...
Well, every story was like someone
completely
like
different.
the world is fine, and now there's the cross, and now we've got to fight him, and now we got to run away.
It's getting redundant. David Hine took over for this section of Badlands, and no disrespect, Hine, but I just don't think you get it. It's not. It's somehow Cross got lost. It's the crossways of Cross have.
Cross got lost.
Yeah, and I've collected.
If it don't
a
fit,
lot.
you gotta quit.
I've got all Crossed, so for me to say no, I'm done.
I think their problem was they decided to make it an ongoing series. When
Yeah.
it was
when it was just story arcs.
miniseries after miniseries.
Because you know what, maybe Hine's work would have been more impressive to me if it did have like this big story arc.
Yeah.
So, The Activity, which I picked up when I met, I think it was Nathan Edmondson at C2E2.
Right.
We've
talked about it before. We
Yeah.
did an episode talking about
I
it.
really like this. It's kind of got that like psyops, not really psyops, but like a really thick heavy operations. You feel like you're right in there with it. Military operation, special teams.
Hold it up. Now that particular issue, do you remember anything about the story?
Yeah, this is where they get dropped in Afghanistan, and they're going to sent in to go capture an informant, I believe.
The new storyline that they're teasing, I think with issue 11 or issue 10, is actually their first mission on American soil.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting.
Well, and what's great is I know at least all the way up to 9. It's mostly about the build of characters. It's all character build up to that point where you're learning how the group is formed, and there's relationships and things like that in between. So, I like how I feel like all of the terminology that they express in the comic book and the feel of it, like there's a lot of work put into understanding how these guys operate. When I talked to Edmondson, he told it was Edmondson. He told me about how after the first few issues or so, there were soldiers in Afghanistan reading his books, and they wanted to put their 2 cents in on exactly how things really went down as much as they could. I'm sure on some of the terminologies. So when you're reading it, it really sounds like it's coming from a soldier.
Okay.
So that's Batman and Robin.
No, I haven't read it.
Okay, well, in this one, it's kind of leading. This is issue 13. It's leading up to basically the Joker's return.
Right. Well, that's happening in all the Batman books.
Right. What's happened here is there's like what they thought at first were like Gotham City was turning into like a city full of zombies. They're actually alive, but they've like inhaled some sort of drug.
They're like voodoo zombies, not
Yeah.
living dead zombies.
Right. So Robin kind of goes undercover and plays unconscious while they're like carrying him down into the catacombs, trying to infiltrate the real bad guy. Batman's like,
do you
on his
read all the
comm,
Batman books or just that and Detective? Batman?
Detective, Batman, Robin, and I guess
And regular Batman?
Yeah.
You don't read The Dark Knight?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
I don't know anybody who really does.
Tomasai does a great job with Batman and Robin. I think Batman and Robin's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, Detective can be good.
More than straight Batman with Scott Snyder?
I think
Wow.
Batman and Robin's my favorite to pick up of the 3. So, not that I don't think Batman's
sure.
good.
Oh, sure,
It's
yeah.
very good. I like them all.
Yeah, backtrack now.
I'm not backtracking.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
backtrack,
Okay, so here we go. Detective. But this is with John Layman. No Scott Snyder.
Right.
And I
Detective's okay. I don't know. To me, nothing in Detective like stands out like, oh man, that was fantastic. But at the same time, nothing in Detective stands out as like, oh, that was terrible. You know what I mean? Like it's always a solid book. Like it's always enjoyable, and it's always well done. But it never blows me away. But I'm never dissatisfied.
Well, this is the way I see it. Like Batman and Robin's mostly about Damian. Detective is more the classic Detective Comics Batman, where you're getting that feel where it's more of a mystery.
Detective seems to focus more on the villains, I think.
I agree. Whereas Batman is all about Batman.
It's more about Bruce Wayne and his
Right.
mythology, whereas Detective is, I think, more villain-centric. So
in Detective 13, basically Penguin is trying to establish himself as a reputable contributor.
Oh, right. He does the whole thing with the museum.
Yeah,
where he gets
it was
named
kind of a
after his
boring
mom.
issue, but there's more. That Swamp Thing.
Have you been reading all of Rot World or just the Swamp Thing issues?
Swamp Thing.
Not the Animal
But you know
Man
what? Just
or-
reading just Swamp Thing, I think I got the gist of it. Basically, Rot World has
You
taken
said
over
gist.
Earth. Dirty boy. Taking over the world, and Poison Ivy and Dead Man have teamed up to kind of investigate what's going on. In the process, they discover Alec Holland. It's like a year later, basically, and the Rot is taking over all of the red and
Oh, so it skips
green.
ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
And so then, now Alec, has come to the realization that he's been out for a while, and now all this terribleness has covered the earth, and he has to do something about it. He goes to meet the, what is it, the trees,
The council?
the council.
Yeah. That's weird that Poison Ivy's in that because she's in Detective 14. And they make reference to the fact that in the recent issues of Birds of Prey, she turned against that team and went back to being a villain.
Well, the interesting part about this one is at the end of it, light. At the end of it, I'll get the switch here.
I don't know if this
You
microphone even
come
picks that up.
to the realization that Swamp Thing is going to be a part of the trees, the
Council?
council. Thank you.
Council of Trees.
The council of trees. So, and
You want to talk about Walking Dead?
Michonne Special #1.
Well, have you read...
Okay, I was disappointed in Michonne Special #1. I'll tell you why. Because I didn't think I felt like I got any insight of Michonne out of it.
It's just her origin story reprinted
Yes.
from that Playboy issue. And then they reprinted her first issue in, I think,
maybe
like
if I
19.
would have read this 40 issues ago, I would have been
Yeah,
like,
well, it
"Ooh,"
was just a story they put in
Right.
Playboy to try to get people
I was expecting more.
to
I
read Walking
didn't realize
Dead
it was going to be just the Playboy
with
thing.
the launch of the show, and they just reprinted it as an issue.
What was it that one was it a critic or a comment on a blog about
Well,
something?
no, some guy sent a letter to him.
Oh,
that
that's right. It was
just
in the letters.
and he goes, why
He
would
was
you
all upset
why did you put
because
it in
it was
Playboy? He's like, I don't want to buy a Playboy just so I can read the storyline. I don't want this sitting around
But that
the
was
house.
the idea. That was the gimmick. You know.
Well,
It was-
no, but Kirkman got all indignant about it.
Right.
Oh, Hugh Hefner, he's always First Amendment, blah blah blah. It's like, so what? It's like I don't want to go out and buy that nudie mag just so I can catch up on what's happening with the characters.
You don't want to have a brown paper bag around your comics.
Yes, I do.
You want it clear.
Clear and brown. I want a clear
Clear and
bag
brown.
in a brown bag.
Or a brown bag in a clear bag, so they can see the brown through the clear.
The show's getting really dirty.
That's 'cause
Okay,
you keep
so
talking about brown.
I'm going to go flip the switch, and I'm going to turn it over to dirt.
And we're done. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Let's see. I guess quickly, let's talk about the Ultimate Universe. United We Stand. Captain America is president of the United States now in here because they needed a real leader, and
Haven't read it yet. I'm going to steal it from you.
it's actually been really good.
I'm sure it is.
Captain America, and it's funny because they did a whole, almost like the whole issue, where it's like a year in the future, and you see like all these problems that happen because Captain America gets too full of himself and tries to make himself too much the center of attention and all this kind of stuff. And then after all this stuff happens, all of a sudden he snaps out of it, and you're back to the battle beforehand. He's realizing, how he's got to be different than all those grandstanding type people. So I just thought it was kind of neat the way that they actually did that. And, it's like the cult of personality should not be around the President of the United States, is what they're trying to say. 47 Ronin. Have you read this from Dark Horse?
No. Is it good?
This is actually really well
Isn't
done.
that based on...
It's based on a true story.
Okay.
And basically Stan Sakai, who does Usagi Yojimbo, they got him to do the artwork in this. It's based on the story of this actual... it starts out as like this political kind of intrigue
Huckster
that
was
happens.
salivating over there.
Well,
Like, please hand it to me. I want to look
You can
at
hand
it,
that to me
touch it.
right now. I'm sold already.
And, I mean, it's one of those things that Mike Richardson, who runs Dark Horse Comics, he wanted to do this story like 15, 20 years ago, and just never got around to it. And just slowly over the years, like he takes trips to Japan and he does some research, but it's
So
always
probably
kind of
beautiful landscape.
it's always just kind of been sitting on a shelf, just waiting, for the right opportunity. And he just finally decided now's the time to do it. And so he gets Stan Sakai to draw it, and it's one of those things where it's the artwork's beautiful. I mean, Stan Sakai usually does like rabbits and donkeys and apes and whatever
Oh my.
in his Usagi Yojimbo books, and this is the first time he's really gone in depth doing humans. But it's really expressive, really emotive, and it's a beautiful book. Very well done. Let's see here. Let's talk about some stuff. Talk about Action Comics. Have you been reading this? Caught up? No.
I'm not caught up. No. You got me on that one.
It's actually been a
Did
lot.
that just come out this week?
Last week or the week before.
Oh, well, it's in my stack now. Because I just bought up to this week.
Oh, okay. It's actually it's getting back to the fun kind of storylines. Grant Morrison kind of lost his way for a while on Action, and he's kind of gotten back into the issue to issue to issue story arc instead of jumping all over the place like he had been doing.
So it's
it's
like
just
one big arc. You feel like there's one big arc.
yeah. There's the one big ongoing story instead of all these little snapshots. that
Well,
he
is
has
it
to do.
more about his identity? Is he still having that kind of like alternate identity crisis?
No, not really. I mean, it's just kind of like straight, like you remember from classic Superman stories. It's Clark Kent trying to maintain this secret identity. He's now dating Lois Lane's sister, but of
Okay.
course something happens. Superman's got to run away, leaves her with the check at the restaurant. She gets mad, all that kind of stuff that happens. But they've done this fun storyline where you have these angels like appear on this alien planet, but they're actually just like these almost like zombies, like trying to kill everybody. Because everyone's
Always
like,
comes back.
everyone's
to the
like,
zombies.
oh, it's angels,
And
and
then
then
they bite ya.
they're eating everything.
Oh,
And then you've got this like demon devil guy who shows up, and he's the one who's kind of in charge of like the wicked angel stuff. So it's just kind of like fun, just really random, crazy. Backup story though in this issue was in USA Today. It made the news because in the backup story, they actually went to a real astronomer. And they said, do you think you could pick a point in space that we could say that's where Krypton was and where it exploded?
oh, okay.
And so he, found a spot, and he found a spot that's 28 light years away. And they actually give the actual coordinates. You can look this in a telescope and be like, oh, that's where Krypton was. And they find this spot, and they go,
Can we like Google Space it?
They-
Is there
they
a Google
take-
Space?
well, it's so far away. They take all of the massive radio telescopes and everything on Earth, and it's too much data. They can't process it. And so Superman, because he's got the super mind, is
He just,
able
like,
to crunch the data and focus everything together and get the information. And they realize, the astronomer turns to his sidekick guy, whatever, and he's like, how old do you think Superman is? Because, I don't know, he looks like he's late 20s, whatever. Well, this planet is 28 light years away. Superman's about 28 years old in this continuity. And so as he pieces everything together, they realize that they finally found Krypton, and the light that's reaching Earth is the night it exploded. So it's like he finally finds Krypton. He finally finds an image of it. They're finally able to get the light from the source, and it's from the explosion. So if he had done it just a year earlier, he would have been able to see his parents. He would have been able to see his civilization. He would have been able to see what it looked like. But he just missed it, and so now it's all he can see is the explosion. He can see his family dying, basically.
Oh.
And so it's one of those kind of like bittersweet, like Arthur C. Clarke type
Couldn't he just
classic
like
sci-fi.
spin himself around the world backwards?
No, that doesn't
and,
work. That doesn't work. Worst story ever, by the way. By the way, Green
Richard
Lantern with the new Green Lantern guy is still a massive fail. And
Yeah,
totally
I have
sucks.
stopped collecting all Green Lantern, including Red Lantern, quite a while ago.
One thing I will point out, there's a new series called Bravest Warriors. And this is from Boom Studios. They call it Cartoon Hangover. And it's the artist who had been working on Adventure Time. And he starts his new... This
Well,
is
yeah, it
his
looks
new
very
comic.
Adventure Time.
Yeah, because it's that art style. Because that's the art style he works with. It's a lot of fun. My son read it, and he thought it was kind of he goes, oh, it's okay, whatever. And then I read it, and I realized half the jokes in here he just didn't get because they're written at a level above him. So this is
like
kind of
a year above him?
yes.
Okay.
So this is kind of like how
Which
Adult
is my
Swim.
level.
Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, you get a lot of jokes that the kids don't understand,
Mhm.
but it's mixed in with a bunch of poo and fart jokes and whatever. And this is kind of the same way.
Poo.
There's a lot of jokes that he's just not going to understand that comes through.
Poo's always... anytime you say poo.
You
it's
just like poo, don't you? All right. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for me with my stack.
Okay. I mean, I read some digital stuff too. Morning Glories, but I'm almost over it. It's gotten so far from reality for me. I have trouble absorbing it.
Yeah, I gave up on that one a while ago.
Well,
There hasn't been a new Pigs in a while. Like
No.
something happened with that book.
Yeah,
like
well,
it got really interesting.
It was
and
a
just kinda
monthly,
stopped.
right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a monthly?
And the Russian chick suddenly was
Oh, okay.
saying what was going on.
Did you read the latest Star Trek? The ongoing?
No, not the latest. I'm
Okay.
still on the Tribbles.
It was based on what's the Scotty's little alien buddy,
Right, Mr.
Mr. Wiggles.
Mr. Neelix or something.
We'll
yeah.
call him Mr. Wiggles. It's based on him, and it was kind of a filler issue, if you ask me. There was no levity to it. It just kind of was based around him. And
They're starting to get to the point now where they're throwing in stuff for the new movie. Like,
Okay.
because they've said that the executive producers of the movie are working with IDW Comics, and they said everything that happens in the comics is going to count as the movie universe. So they are actually going to have the comics do things to set up characters and situations that will then play out in the movie when it finally comes.
Okay, how about Wolverine Max? Did you read that?
I read part of it. It was okay.
I had trouble. I struggled with it.
Really.
Yeah, there's like basically two things happening. It's
All your books are going backwards. Huh?
yeah. I keep setting it to forwards and it goes backwards.
You need to uninstall it and
Reinstall it. Okay. But there's a plane
Maybe you'll
crash.
get a new perspective.
Reading in Japanese style.
Yeah.
Right to left.
Backward.
Maybe you just need
Maybe
to buy a
I'll
new
learn
tablet.
Japanese like subliminally.
Spontaneously.
Yeah.
Let's buy a new tablet.
No.
Like, whatever.
No,
Just
this
buy
is a
new
great
one.
tablet.
Just spend $400, buy a new tablet.
Although
Whatever.
You have to.
my
it's a
bride
great tablet.
wants
You just have to look
the
at everything
note.
backwards.
I got to get her the note for Christmas, if she's lucky. Let's see. Just Fanboys versus Zombies. Starting to wane.
How far into it are you?
I'm current.
Well, you only have up to issue 5 there. don't you?
No. I've got up to 9, 7,
Oh, there's that order.
7. Yeah, there's that order.
Okay.
7. I think it's 7 or 8. So they've left the Comic-Con. Zombies have overrun it. They realize that there's zombies all over town. They don't know how far it's gone. The light comedy humor of it is just kind of dull in this last couple issues, and
Is the humor just starting to get old?
yeah.
Hmm.
Anything else on here, real quick?
Do you read Gambit or Hawkeye?
I've got them. I just haven't read them yet. Scarlet Spider too. I'm kind of a couple issues behind.
Yeah, well, they're doing that whole crossover thing with
Oh.
Carnage, and I've read the first couple, but I'm like, nah.
Voltron. Have you read the last Voltron, which is what 8 or 9?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I probably have it, but I just
Let's
haven't
wait till
read
we
it.
like get all completely caught up on it.
Read comics. Work.
So yeah, that's all my digitals. Not much. And then I'm also trying to catch up on Invincible, which I'm on like volume 7. And Huckster got excited when I talked about Invincible.
I caught up on Invincible. I do like that comic.
Are you all the way like
I'm
current to like?
current.
Okay, are you, so you're collecting as it's coming out then?
Yep.
Okay. It's good stuff, isn't it? Some people
you guys,
say.
you're the ones who turned me on to that.
Yeah, some people
It's a
say
very
it's.
Ooh,
Comiholics.
we turned you on, huh?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just talking to somebody the other day, and they
That's
felt
alright.
was it you? Maybe I was talking to you, and you felt that it was better than Walking Dead.
No, that wasn't me, but I would agree with that.
Yeah, so there's been some criticism that it's actually
Well, Walking
better.
Dead.
It got really good.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes or the last 2 comics were pretty good.
We
The
love
writing
it.
was was superior.
Yes.
To quote Khan, the
Not
intellect
to be
was-
confused with Noir is
superior-
Superior, which is a good comic as well.
Are they doing a sequel to that too?
I don't know.
I think they are.
And then the other trade paperback I'm reading is Ultimate Fantastic Four,
Another one.
which I'm on like volume 7 or 8 too. So that's it for me.
All right. Woo. All right, we're going to wrap it up. When we come back after this commercial break, we are going to what?
Let's talk about Hexed. I want to say Prison Pit for last.
Oh, you know what? We have too many things on the hopper because we're going to talk about the Marvel Now books.
Oh, well then we're not talking about Hex then. We're talking about Prison Pit. We must talk about Prison Pit.
Well, wait. Okay, wait. What are we going to do next? Are we going to
Let's do the Marvels, Prison Pit last.
And then save Hex for
I want to make
next
sure I'm completely sober when we talk about Prison Pit. So I'm going to save it for last.
The grand finale.
So are we
Yeah,
not going to
the
talk about
coup de
Hex
grace.
tonight?
No, we can save Hexed. That's fine.
Save Hex for another time?
Yes, we'll Hexed. Talk about it another time. Oh, you really want to talk about it?
No, it's all right. Whatever. All right. So when we come back, we'll talk about the Marvel Nows that have come out so far, a handful of those. And then we'll finish off the show tonight with the best comic ever created in the history of mankind, which is Prison Pit.
And then it'll be guess what's in Dirt's underpants.
And it's shaped like a Snickers bar.
back, folks. And if you've hit the first half of this episode, you know that something has gone terribly wrong this evening.
Yeah, it's called 45 or whatever. What is that stuff?
Yeah, what is that? Oh.
46.
46 ingredients.
Maker's
We
Mark.
can't show the label.
Yeah, you can. Who cares?
They
Look,
need to
I love
be
how
a
the
sponsor.
bottle looks like someone put a candle on it and like it dripped.
Yeah, it's all newfangled,
Like it's
fancy.
like that nice when you get the bottle of wine at the nice Italian restaurant. It's like got the wicker on it, you know.
When you uncrack that stuff, it's like the best sound ever when it pours into a glass. It's like,
But in reality, we bought that at the North Ender from some guy named Cletus. You gonna like this?
That's
Oh, it's gonna
that's
get
some
crooked.
good. That's some good.
You gonna have a comic book radio show? Well, you should be drinking at 46.
You've been reading them funny books.
Makers. You want some makers?
Actually, yeah. Here,
Okay.
I didn't buy the bottle, so I'm gonna drink some more. How much was that bottle?
that's 30
30
bucks. Yeah, it was a good deal.
That's good.
I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
46.
Dirk gets he gets like
I'll
a
do
3-finger pour, and he guzzles it down like well.
I asked him
Like
about
a
the
cheap
aftertaste, and he was
prom
like,
date.
"What?
Yeah.
My God!"
So I might be doing the rest of the show by myself in about 20 minutes. Well, we'll just have our audience sub in.
Good stuff.
Speaking of, as you know, it's my pleasure to say, this is being recorded before a live studio audience. We have
you really come live.
some
but-
very special guests that have been on the show before. Unfortunately, our camera is really small, so I can't show them. But we're gonna
No,
give
that's
a
the
shout
plan.
out.
That's the plan.
We got Turd Ferguson over there.
Say hi.
Woohoo! And we got the Huckster over there.
I am the mastermind behind the 46.
Which I probably
Eat a
drank
good
like
boy.
$5 worth of that bottle. So,
So Gozer, the gatekeeper.
oh,
over
yeah,
there.
you Lincoln.
I am the keymaster.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, have some.
Oh.
I just watched Ghostbusters the other day. I love that movie.
That movie is classic.
Get him, Ray.
My eyeballs are
When
burning.
someone asks if you're a god, you say yes.
All right, so what are we talking? We're talking Marvel now.
Yeah.
Marvel
number
now. Woo! Well, actually, they're not all number ones, as it turns out. Some of them are
So did I miss out
like
on it?
number 59 of Hulk is now Red She-Hulk, starting with number 59 or 58.
Well, I did not read that one.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't, because you don't do homework.
Excuse me. I remember calling up you, Dirt.
No, you sent me a
And
text and you said, "How can I find them?" And I said, "I don't know. Check Marvel.com."
Well, I did. And I also checked previews, and I just kind of went through and picked the number ones. You did not tell me there going to be a flip side to this.
Well,
Is.
someone didn't walk into our store and get the little card that had the checklist on it
Your store has a checklist?
for Marvel Now. Yes,
Okay.
Marvel sent them to us.
Well, negating the checklist.
All right, so let's talk about some. Well, okay.
Well, tell me about the
Technically-
the She-Hulk.
Technically, it
episode.
all kicked off with Uncanny Avengers #1.
Okay.
Did you read Uncanny Avengers #1?
Yes.
This is basically Captain America trying to put together a team that is both Avengers and X-Men in the hopes that it will redeem the mutants in the eyes of the public who have come not to trust them,
Mm-hmm.
as the public is wont to do from time to
Right.
time in the Marvel Universe.
Freaks.
And basically, Red Skull sends his troops in at the end to steal Professor X's body
Mm-hmm.
so he can take the brain out of the body and somehow use that to take over the world like Red Skull does. And that's it in a nutshell. There's Professor X with his head cut open. Woo!
And he's got brains.
Woo! There's brains.
Okay.
So, what do you think of Uncanny Avengers? You gonna keep reading it?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be
For
my
real?
Uncanny. I think it's going to be the only Uncanny I collect. I'll give it a shot. I mean, you and me.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll-
good for 6 issues or.
Yeah, I was
12.
gonna say,
I'll even go
I'll-
12 sometimes.
I'll go like the first arc and see
Yeah.
how I feel at the end of it.
I'm still.
If you feel defiled, you have to.
Well, I'm still an Avengers.
No,
fan.
if I feel defiled, I'm subscribing to that one. If it touches me in a bad way, then we're good.
That explains our
It's-
ending
Point
segment.
two on the doll where they
It-
touched
That
you.
explains pretty
As I called, I think I texted you about Prison Pit. It's so wrong, it can't be right.
But if it's wrong, I don't want to be right. All right. Now, Deadpool #1, you bought Deadpool
Yeah.
#1 also.
Yep.
So we both have that one in paper.
Mhm.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. You said you didn't like it as much. I thought it was good. I love the little jokes in the background. Like for instance, there's the newspaper headline after the zombie of Harry S. Truman shows up, and Captain America kills the zombie and puts it back down. The headline in the Daily Bugle says "Cap, snaps, and scrap. Decapitation America stars in Truman Show." And that's good stuff right there. I mean, come on, that is good.
Or like when he busts into the White House, or does it? Yeah, the White House.
I think that's Congress, isn't it?
Congress, and he's like, "Why don't I come back later when the undead strippers join the little party?" You know.
I thought it was funny because basically the premise is they go, we can't have Captain America fighting zombies of the American presidents because
So
that
he's
just
gonna
looks
do it.
wrong.
He's gonna do it, and,
So
and they're not going to.
We need a character nobody cares about,
Right.
and he can look bad, and we can wash our hands of him. So they sent in Deadpool.
Doesn't it feel like it's been done before? Don't you feel like this has been done before, though?
Done
in a
how?
sense.
When was the last time you
they
saw
use
zombie presidents?
Okay, zombie president.
When is the last time you saw naked Howard Taft sitting in a bathtub with a bucket of chicken
I do like how they
and a
have.
rubber ducky on his
What do
belly?
they have written on
That's
Ronald
a new
Reagan's
one on
forehead?
you.
Ronald Reagan fell asleep, and someone wrote Pinko on his forehead with
Yeah.
a red marker.
Okay, that was funny. That was in that same page of that quote I read.
And then, of course, JFK is sitting there, and he's got dollar bills in his hand.
He's like, not.
And he's got
League of-
kisses.
League
all
of
over.
Women Voters. Okay, all right, fine. Now you're starting to win me on a little bit.
And
Look at the details.
Thomas
boy.
Jefferson couldn't find his wig, so he's wearing one of those clown wigs. Let me see if I can get that
Yeah, it's like
on
a
camera. One of those
two-colored-
rainbow clown wigs.
Right there.
See? Good
It's like
stuff.
Where's Waldo?
I mean, yeah, it's one of those books that you read the story, and then you go back and you look for all the little details.
So the artist is it Moore?
Yeah, Tony Moore, he's the guy who started Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He was the original artist on Walking
And
Dead.
I do
and he
like
did
the
Battle
art.
Pope.
Battle Pope? I haven't read Battle Pope.
You haven't read Battle
I
Pope?
read
No.
Battle Pope.
Oh, okay. Well, Battle Pope
Battle
we will
Pope's
cover
cool.
next time then, because that's the second greatest
Wow.
comic in the history of mankind.
I just got
Exactly.
bombarded by Battle Pope.
With hippie Jesus.
And don't you think though the face, the style of Deadpool is quite different? Like the way they've done his face, like his visage, the character on the whole has changed.
Yes. On the whole, Preparation H does feel right.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I love the artwork. I love the stylized look to
Okay.
him. Like he's got the glowing eyes and.
I know I
everything
was
going
critical
on.
at first, but
I like it. I just think it was a lot of fun.
it is.
And to me, it was a break.
it's different.
It does feel different,
than-
but I
than
did
Way's
feel that the other
interpretation.
Deadpool series had kind of lost its step after a while. I did feel like the old Deadpool series felt a little stale.
We talked about that.
Yeah, so I think this is a good first step, and I'm digging it, and I'm going to stick with this one for a while.
Wasn't there a Scotty Young variant on this too? I think there was.
They've done Scotty Young variants with
Which
so much
is-
stuff.
Right there, there's a Scotty Young. Right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of these variants are babies on all of these, which I don't know why, but that's what they're doing. All right, the one other one I have in paper is the all-new X-Men #1. That's the only other one that I actually bought in paper. And this one, the basic premise of this, if you can, nice wrap cover. The basic idea is that Beast thinks that Cyclops has so messed up everything in the Marvel Universe in current times that he actually travels back to when the X-Men first were at the Avengers Mansion, at Professor X's
Right.
mansion, and he basically steals them from the past and brings them to the present time. So he feels that this version of the X-Men is so wrong that he goes back in time and steals this version of the X-Men and brings them to the present to try to fix things.
Let me see the other one.
So he's basically gone
that
back
one's
in
a
the
lot
past.
sexier. This one's a lot sexier.
Well, yeah, this is
He
the
messed
original.
up.
This is the
Yeah,
original.
Here you
no,
go.
no.
Well,
He
if you like
messed up. He
men-
messed up. Yeah, I'm
Here's the
telling you.
wrap.
Yeah, he messed up.
There you go. That's a good.
Like a chicken fajita wrap.
That's a wrap. Okay.
And that's a wrap. We're done. Thanks for
No,
watching.
no, no.
But I thought it was fun. And I don't like the modern version of the
What do
X-Men.
you think about Hank?
So I like seeing
The
the
future
classic.
Hank and all that. You like it?
You mean Beast?
Beast.
Beast, his like kitty look that kind of is. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fun.
Have you guys-
And I like time travel stories. Like, I'm always a sucker for time travel stories.
Well, there's an infinite amount of time travel stories
They're
in both
in
universes.
comic books,
the major
they
universes.
do a lot of them,
Mhm.
and I like them.
This is a
Parallel
good
universes
shot.
and time travel.
I like
You-
that shot. That's really cool. There's a lot of good art in this.
Actually, yeah, the artwork was really Immerman.
Have you seen the Annie?
Stuart Immerman does the artwork, which of course is always clean and crisp. Looks very nice. And I think Val Staples
It's really
didn't.
good.
No,
Actually,
Val
if you
Staples
liked,
didn't do this one. He did
this
Deadpool. I was gonna say. So anyway, good stuff. It's the one X-Men book really that I've really enjoyed recently. So let's talk about the other X-Men book,
Sure.
which is X-Men Legacy. Did you read X-Men Legacy?
Yes.
What did you think?
My least favorite and most confusing.
I was gonna say this is the X-Men book I really don't like.
It was very confusing. I was lost.
Okay, well,
Maybe it's because I haven't read any
the character in this
this,
book is Legion,
universe.
who is Professor X's son. Which, like, I don't even remember his. Like, I remember vaguely that Professor X had a son, but I don't even remember with who or
Right.
how it happened.
Well, this dude,
The queen
the
of
kid
Shi'ar?
in this, is
Is that
his
who it
son.
was?
I don't know. I know he's involved there.
He's got the world's worst haircut. Like, what is that?
It's
about?
inverse to.
It's like
Professor
going like
X's
Japan,
bald.
kind of like bizarre.
Wow.
It's like
Ugh.
directly inverse to Professor X's
It's not
bald
even
head.
punk rock.
And here's the thing:
No,
the artist,
not cool punk.
the artist on this book is I know I'm going to say this wrong, but it's Tan Eng Hout. He's
Yeah, we're gonna get letters now.
Vietnamese or Singaporean. Or, I don't even. Is that
Singaporean?
Is that how you say that?
Talking all that
Sing-
Paris talk and shit. I don't know
Singaporeans?
all that stuff, man.
But anyway, he did a lot of work on Ghost Rider,
East
and his
Asian.
Ghost Rider stuff I thought was really good. So I was kind of excited to see this because I actually liked his stuff on Ghost Rider. It was funky, and it was very energetic,
Mhm.
and I was really looking forward to it. And then I get this book, and it didn't look anything like the artwork that he had done
Well, it starts
previously
off in like this like fight in this like
in the Cortex
like a
complex.
like a coliseum, and I'm just. Do you even know what's going on in this book?
No,
Okay,
and the thing is,
I can't even tell. I don't
well,
know.
and that's not always a problem. Getting a book where you don't know what the starting point is. The question is, do you care enough to figure it out and to stick with it to get the answer?
All I want
And
to
in
know
this
is
book, no, I really don't care.
why
enough.
is the bad hair dude the main character? That's my biggest criticism. Like, what's so important? There's no weight. To me, they jumped right into it. And there was no real weight to.
and,
you know.
and he's not a character that had a big part in like AVX or anything
Okay.
like that. So it's like he's coming out of nowhere, and suddenly it's just like, hey, here's the guy.
Yeah,
Great,
the
thanks a lot.
Cortex complex.
But yeah, don't care. I'm not. I don't think I'll read issue
no,
2.
no.
So that one I've given up on already. Fantastic Four.
Yes,
Did you read Fantastic Four #1?
yes.
All right, now this is a change. Again, Jonathan Hickman had been writing Fantastic Four for a long time. Now he's
It's a
left.
break. It's a complete release.
So Matt
of
Fraction-
basically a new Fantastic Four.
A
in
new
my eyes.
era.
Yeah.
And it's 1 year later. So they've skipped a year going from the old series to the new series. So what did you feel about this new... I mean, I guess it kind of flips back and forth throughout the issue, but it does go a year in the future and then kind of to present time and then a year in the future. But what do you think overall of the story?
Well, the story starts out based on like Johnny Storm's ship. What's it called? I just had
The Johnny Storm ship.
Poseidon. Yeah, and they're retroverting it to go retro.
Is that a word? Retro?
It is
version?
now
Retrofitting
retrofitting it to go throughout time, and they're going to take their kids with them and travel
family
throughout
cruise.
time and space. Yeah, basically,
Well, Lost in Time.
yeah, lost in space. I had that feeling too.
I-
and it jumps from that to a year before, or no, it jumps into the future. I'm sorry, it jumps into the future, where basically everything's gone wrong because they did it.
No thanks.
So it's very lost in space-ish.
I
Um,
like the general idea of...
And Franklin has a premonition, like a dream, like something terrible is going to happen.
I like the idea of you see that there's a problem, and then it kind of goes back, and you see them starting to set out on the journey.
Well, it's a time thing. So
And then you
like
get,
time
and yeah,
things.
and then you get that now suddenly Franklin's going to try to stop them from going and doing it.
Well,
so
and
you're
then-
seeing what the outcome
and then
is,
the
and now
other-
he's going to change time so it doesn't happen. Or he's going to try, is the idea.
The other thing I forgot to talk about was Mr. Fantastic. His molecular DNA somehow is falling apart.
It's starting to break down.
So he's secretly trying to find a
dun,
cure,
dun.
and that's part of the reason why he's decided to go through time space is to try to like find the parallel universe genetic code that will solve his problem. So it's kind of a twofold thing, and he hasn't told the rest of the family.
So I think it's a good setup. Like
It
this
is
is the one that
balanced.
felt like there's enough I'm interested in that I want to read the
There's
next
some
issue.
weight to it.
Yeah.
And the characters, the way they're drawn is a lot different.
It's Mark Bagley who did Spider-Man for a really long time. And then he did some stuff for DC that nobody seemed to care about, and so then he went back to Marvel.
You know, and maybe part of my interest is I did, wane from Hickman towards the end. I just stopped collecting it. So-
His whole death of Human Torch, and then Human Torch
Yeah,
is back
coming
in
back.
6 months was kind of stupid, and that kind of killed a lot of it for me.
Okay, so what about...
All right, Red She-Hulk.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't read it, so...
All right, well, I will say this. I've been reading Hulk for a while just because I like the Red Hulk. I like how it's General Ross.
I do like Red Hulk.
Who's an army guy, and he gets rage and then turns into the Hulk and beats stuff up, which is kind of a change from regular Hulk, which I thought was a lot of fun in the way they handled it. And now they said, well, he's going to be in the Avengers. He's going to be a big part of Avengers. So now they're giving it to his daughter, who was Bruce Banner's wife. She's now a Red Hulk. And now the book revolves around her. And I don't care anymore. Like, I don't like her character. Her whole thing is just, she goes, I don't want to be a Hulk. I'm mad. And then she beats stuff up. And then she leaves. And, like, that's okay. Great. Glad I read that book.
It sounds like everyone's wife.
I did not say that, for the record. Let the
I
record
understand
reflect.
An
There's
unmarried
a
man
reason
just
why.
said that. A never married man just said that. That was bad studio audience.
And I guess the other thing is Machine Man has now upgraded himself with new parts and whatever, and he's now back to fight her and try to keep her in line.
You have already lost me.
Yeah, and it's not. They should have canceled the book and just been done. She did.
Obviously, there are enough people buying it, though. You know.
We'll see in 6 months if this book is still around.
Okay. Ooh, is that a challenge?
That's a premonition. All right, A
premonition?
plus X. Did you read A plus X?
Mhm.
Which is the Avengers and X-Men team up book that they're doing. Whereas before it was AVX where they were versus. Now it's plus where they're working together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is change it.
Yeah.
I gotta just change the V to a plus.
But the fun
Make
thing is,
millions.
fun thing is, time travel story, and we got. Oh, I just flipped the page. I'm flipping pages.
Flip
I
the
go-
Jabez.
I flipped the Javis.
The Jabez.
Jason Chavis. I
We'll
just
have
flipped him.
like a whole index later.
They did time travel, and you got Nazi Sentinels. Nazi Sentinels.
Nazi Sentinels.
How
Now
about
that
that?
is interesting.
Yeah,
Let
see?
me see that.
Oh.
He's got a swastika on it.
Yeah, because he's a Nazi.
That's your first
So I
clue.
like the time travel. You've
I
got
like the art.
Captain
like-
America and
That was
Bucky
cool
in the past, and then Cable shows up.
Cable.
Which, I mean,
Ugh, Cable.
not a fan of Cable, but if you're going to do a time travel story.
He was supposed to be
it's,
dead. Now he's back. What's going on with that?
You don't know at what point in his history he's jumping in here.
Oh.
This actually could be Cable from 10 years ago jumping in the past.
So you're telling me that we're not done with him yet?
No, well, apparently he's not dead.
He will
Well,
not go
Because he
away.
time travels, we could have Cable.
Exactly. He time travels. You don't know where he's at. No matter where you go, there you are.
But the art is a lot of fun. There's a lot of action. The part where Hulk,
Yeah, there's a second story with Hulk and
where
Wolverine.
he fights old Hulk.
There's the future imperfect version, and then Old Man Logan, the future version of Wolverine, shows up.
That punch. Where's that? There. That punch. That's really
What
cool.
the-
I like that punch.
That is good.
So it's
stuff.
Hulk versus old Hulk and Wolverine versus old Wolverine, and they're both from different time streams. So
Yeah.
there's something there's a whole bunch of time travel stuff.
For all
going
you
on with this.
timies out there,
Which
all
is
you Time
yay.
Bandit fans,
Yay.
I think I rolled my eyes 3 times in the last minute.
Who doesn't like Time Bandits?
I like Time Bandits. There's a big difference between
Time travel.
Time Bandits.
Yeah,
and
well, if you like
Hulk
time,
hunting Hulk.
time bandits, that means you like time travel, which means you have to like all time travel, even if it sucks.
Hey, I'm sorry, but Back to the Future 2 is still better than 3.
3 sucked. It did suck.
Although Star Trek Voyage
So then here's
Home,
AVX, the next one we get to
Time-
A plus.
No, that was awesome. Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, where they go to get the whales.
See, that was the best episode ever.
That was awesome.
No, it was
That was
kind of-
fantastic.
It wasn't better.
The best part of that
than
movie is when like Spock puts the
Mind Meld.
The punk.
punk
There's a
out.
punk
and,
on the-
he's like, listen to his punk rock.
Can you turn it down? And he turns it up, and so Spock just reaches over and just does a nerve
right when
pinch,
the
and the guy
music
goes,
says,
wham, and it
Yeah.
shuts off the radio, and everybody starts clapping. Come on, that's great.
Right.
Damn it, now I have to watch that movie again.
Mm-hmm.
Michelob and a sausage pizza. I'll have
Cannot
what she's
wait to
having.
save whales with some Makers 46.
That's right.
I understand that.
Okay, but I do want to talk. Next one to talk about is Thor.
You want to talk about Thor?
Yes,
Thor, God of Thunder.
I liked it.
We both read digital. Neither of us got paper on that one.
Yes, I like Thor: God of Thunder.
What was it about? Because you like the whole...
It's completely different from any of the other
Because it's set in the
storylines.
past, and it does the whole like history of the Norse people, and
No, well, where he's investigating the cry out to the gods from help from this like alien planet. This alien like little girl in this tribe is like crying out because the planet's like in this like world drought, this global drought, and calls to the gods for somebody.
isn't
to
this
come
the one
save
where he
her.
finds like the God Slayer or whatever?
Yes, well,
Okay.
it leads up to that,
Okay.
but I don't know. I liked it.
So it does feel like there's actually someone who could defeat Thor, because it's
Right.
one of those things when you have somebody who's a god, it's kind of like, well, he wins.
Well, the little girl tells Thor later, like after like he comes and like brings the rain and saves the planet. They have this big feast, big festival, and Thor's talking to the little girl and asking, she's so happy because this is this godless planet, and Thor's like so appalled, like how could a planet not have a god, And she's like, well, there's ancient talk of gods, way before, and it turns out that
That they're dead.
they're dead. They're like there's like this like
They're like on
so-
meat hooks or something.
yeah, there's like this like
It's like
Olympus.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes. Yeah. Like he like opens up this big citadel in space that's supposed to be where this like temple is, and it's just all these like cleaved dead gods. So he's trying to discover what's going on,
I guess.
and then this like demon
Whoa,
Dog
that actually does
creature,
sound
like-
kinda interesting.
yeah, and then like this like demon dog creature like comes out to fight him, and he kind of like recognizes what it is, some kind of like death.
It does
death
feel.
god that he
It does
knows
feel like
of.
an epic. Like it is written in a style
Check
where
it out, Huckster.
feels
It's-
like you're.
It's actually on the correct page. You can actually go forward and backwards like you're supposed to. So
So
Mm.
now it does say that this is issue 1 of a five issue arc.
right, it's going to be a short.
So
arc.
so we'll see at the end of 5 issues whether or not it still stands a
It's
test.
very different art.
the art's
This is
really
done with
cool. It,
Photoshop.
like
It's definitely done with
set great-
Photoshop.
Great period. Like you feel like you're on another planet with Thor. But then it starts off with like tales of him talking about when he's in Asgard and tales of victory, and he kind of reflects on that with
That's kinda cool.
the people of this planet that he's saved. But the end of the issue, obviously he's in a lot of trouble. This god slayer confronts him, and Thor kind of knows who this god is, but not really. He's heard tales of it himself. And then that's pretty much the issue. But I thought it was fun. There's a lot of action. And like I said, completely different than a lot of the other Thor titles I've read. But it is only 5 issues, so.
Well, at least for the first arc.
Yeah.
Did you read Iron Man #1?
Yeah.
I liked. Here's the problem with Iron Man #1. Iron Man #1 in general, I liked it. I thought it was a well-written story. I thought it played out well. I liked seeing Tony Stark as he's gotten past all those problems. He's no longer in self-doubt.
even
or anything.
drinking. Like,
He's back to being the
recovered
playboy,
alcoholic.
and he's picking up chicks all over the place and
But he's
whatever.
not drinking.
But he's not drinking. But the one problem is this whole story is based on the idea that someone has stolen his technology, they've sold it to other people,
I've never.
and now he's got to go reclaim it. And
Sounds
that's
like
something that they've
You
Sounds
guys
like a
watch
done.
whole
that
new
movie?
story. I've never heard of such
No,
a
it sounds
story
like a
from
movie I
Iron Man.
watched.
Yeah.
What? So I mean, it's
What's
it's
up? And then there's like these like super like basically who's the woman that like calls him up right before she dies?
I don't remember.
Okay, well anyways, this woman like has this like secret code where like she can call Iron Man in like a desperate need and it'll leave like a special message. In the message is basically like if you get this message, I'm dead. You know, secret's out. And basically she's a super scientist too, and she had some sort of super soldier serum, just like a technology that something that Tony Stark would make that if it was put in the wrong hands would be a very powerful weapon. So her super serum is to like make these super soldiers, and who gets a hold of it again? Is it Kingpin?
Well, no, it's AIM,
AIM.
the
Oh, AIM.
advanced
AIM, that's right.
something mechanics,
You know
whatever.
the
They're
yellow
terrorist-
guys with the long head.
terrorist group,
Yeah.
number 5 in the Marvel universe.
So, anyways, you got these like AIM super soldiers, and Iron Man confronts them.
But again, it's like it was well done for what it was, but what it was not an entirely original story. So it's like I enjoyed reading it, but at the same time,
Extremists.
I felt like I'd read it
Extremists
before.
is what they're called.
Yeah, well, Extremis is the technology of his suit,
Right.
is what he calls it. Like I'm torn because, like I said, it's not.
You want to like it. Sounds like you want to like it, but you don't like it.
Well, like I did like it, but at the same time, it's not anything new, and I don't know what new is really going to be.
You've lost your
we're
you've
boring,
lost
I know.
your studio
We're
audience.
boring the audience.
Next.
Yeah, but you guys are
Right.
jerks.
Who
needs you bums?
Next.
All right,
I
what
need
else?
pizza rolls.
We don't have pizza rolls, dude. We don't have them.
This place sucks.
Did we just talk about them all? Is
Yeah,
that
that's it. That's what's been released so far. So.
Okay. We told you it was a short segment.
So overall, what do you feel about Marvel now compared to the New 52 of DC?
This is not even the same comparison. It's New 52 DC was basically a complete reboot, like a boot, like they booted it and changed it. This is I don't even think this is really Marvel's intent to do that, is it?
More or less. I mean, it's the idea of a whole bunch of number ones, new writers, new artists, trying to breathe new life into the series to try to get people to pick up on.
It seems like they just picked certain ones that they want to bring new life to them because most of them don't feel like they have new life.
Well,
to them.
like Avengers have all switched to new writers. Bendis has taken over the X-Men books. You've got Fraction taking over Fantastic Four. You've got like everybody's just kind of switched around. The only writer who's really staying is Dan Slott with Amazing Spider-Man.
So it's not really about a reboot
But he's
of
changing
the
the
stories. It's more about a reboot of the writers and artists.
Just breathing fresh life into the series.
So it's not the same thing. You can't really compare them, DC and Marvel.
Well, you can compare them. They're just taking different approaches.
Okay.
So, just out of curiosity, what do the professionals think? The two professionals that are present in the screen. What do you guys? Did it really need a reboot, or was it really getting stale?
A couple of them could have helped. It may have helped.
They're benefiting
Well,
from
for
it?
example, Fantastic Four. I'm kind of excited to see that somebody else picked it up besides Hickman, and I liked a lot of Hickman. Don't get me wrong. Most of Fantastic Four Hickman, I was in love with. It just kind of felt like it just got old, and then to like have somebody else pick it up and run with it and do a story that's interesting and kind of fun, and in that kind of, although it's very much like Lost in Space right now. But I think it's
Well, I mean, I'll from a different perspective, since I also work on the retailer side of things. For 8 years, it was Marvel and DC, and then DC did the relaunch, and it became DC and Marvel. So then Marvel is something like, well, we're not on top anymore.
They're kind of
So they're trying to
That's kind of what I got the impression of when I was for reading my comics. I felt like they're compensating.
Now, to the mass media, the thing that really sets Marvel apart is the fact that, they're owned by Disney, and they're putting out some pretty good movies. So that,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think they kind of rode the coattails of that for a while.
And they just bought Star Wars.
Yes, and they just bought Star Wars.
And they're going to put out 2 movies a year.
To where
a year.
Harrison Ford said
and then
he would
it's going to be
play-
like Avengers, where
What are they going to be like? Vignette?
They're going to focus on one character at
or
a
whatever you
time,
call it.
and then do a compilation like.
But
Avengers.
you notice once Lucas got out of it, Harrison Ford said, "Yeah, I'll play Han Solo."
But
now."
you got to kill me off.
Yeah, you got to kill me off,
Right.
but I'll play Han Solo with if George isn't in it.
Wait, Han Solo's going to be killed off? Wait, this just ruined my night.
Well, he wanted him killed off.
All right. Well, anyway.
Where's the bottle?
Three
of
hours.
46?
Totally veered
What the
off here.
hell?
Some
That's-
cross.
How much
comparisons.
Maker's
That
Mark
is
is left?
that's at least
Why?
3 fingers worth of depression right there.
Oh, he never liked Han Solo.
All right.
You're gonna kill him.
We're
off?
going to chug some more Maker's Mark, and then when we come back, it's time. You've waited.
It's
been
go
an
time.
hour worth of show.
Prison
Hour
Pit.
worth of show. Now it's time to get to the greatest comic in the history of all mankind, Prison Pit. And look at that dirty ass glass.
I know it's
Like what
disgusting.
is with
Eris, what are you serving me?
Who? The Apocalypse?
The apocalypse. Yeah, but you gotta.
Delete that out.
We're gonna take a break. When we come
You're
back,
a
Prison Pit.
Philistine.
After this,
A dirty person.
we use a potty.
I didn't curse this time.
I saw you swimming in the water. No. Woo! Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome back, folks.
Drink up. Drink up. That's all I gotta say. If
need
you
to
are
catch
sober
up.
and watching the show,
Turn this off.
that's
Turn
your
this off.
mistake.
Turn this off. Go buy some,
Unless you're too young to
some
Maybe
46.
46.
consume.
Drink a half bottle of 46, then come back.
If you're underage,
I'm back.
That is more than
Yeah.
just
just
get a paper bag and breathe into it for about 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Don't tell him that. He might have some asthmatic kid like kill himself. No, don't do that.
If you start to see fireworks, take a deep breath of real air.
Oh, by the way, tell the studio audience what you're doing right now.
I'm eating your nuts. You put honey on your nuts. Thank
That's
you.
right. Yeah, honey nut.
They're also roasted.
Honey nut apocalypse.
He was riding a motorcycle.
Post-apocalypse.
Post-apocalyptic nuts.
Mere ash smelling.
We're really on the border here, folks.
Welcome to the
Point
worst
of
show
Ever.
in the history of mankind. This is one of those things where it's like we're all laughing now, but in about 10 minutes we're just gonna be crying.
You're like, oh,
We're just gonna be like, we're just like sitting in the
why?
What
water.
have we done?
what?
Poop TV on public access 4. That's
You
the
did
worst
that.
TV
You
show
did
ever
that
made.
live. No, so we're gonna talk about prison.
You're trying to
What?
elevate the
Prison Pit.
Oh,
You're attempting to elevate the
Yes.
conversation
Oh,
with
no.
Prison Pit.
We've elevated it just by saying those 2 important
Oh.
words ever
Hey.
uttered.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Wait now.
Oh,
Oh, oh, let's get it right. Everybody, right to this camera here. There
There we
there's a good
go.
shot. Camera 1, camera 2.
The Freud or whatever.
Makers.
Good stuff.
Oh my goodness.
You're a machine.
All the hair on
It's
my
gonna
tongue
get
has just
real.
been burned off.
Okay, so Prison Pit.
What? What? I'm just
You
drinking.
sucked
I
out
don't
3
talk about
fingers.
You put
before-
stuff in a glass and I drink it.
It's
That's-
94 proof.
94 proof. What? It's not 121.
Okay, all right, you're right.
all right.
Prison Pit.
What can I say?
Wow.
Okay, so there's this prison.
I'm ready
and
to
it's
be
in a big
enlightened.
pit. The end. All right, everybody here has read Prison Pit. All right, so our studio audience.
No, everyone here has experienced it.
Yes.
What? What would you like to say?
You
It's
can't really
an
read it. You
experience.
experience it.
I just-
'Cause there's not a lot of writing.
All right, so okay, backstory again. All right, for those of you who missed it last time. Apocalypse and I were up in Chicago,
Mhm.
C2E2, meet up with Nerd City, and Ben Spencer, he's buying us shots of
Something alcohol.
evergreen whiskey or something. I
Evergreen.
don't know what it
It was
was.
minty fresh.
But, great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great time with Nerd City. So we came back. I was talking with intern Rick. Intern Rick's doing a new show about customizing toys. Ben Spencer makes his own toys. And so we said we'd talk to him on the show. And I'm talking to him, and he's talking about some character he created. He goes, well, it's kind of like in Prison Pit. Have you read Prison Pit? And I look at intern Rick, and I'm like, no, I haven't read Prison Pit. Have you like, who the hell has read a book called Prison Pit? Like, no one's heard
I
of this
remember when you
book.
told me, I was like, you were like, you should read Prison Pit.
Yeah,
We're gonna
exactly.
cover
You're
Prison Pit.
like Prison Pit. What the
Prison
hell are you talking about? So, like 2 days later, after I talked to them on Comixology, they're just like, "Oh, and by the way, this week we're releasing Prison Pit Book 1." It's like, oh, well, I guess I have to buy this now because Prison Pit. There it is. So I buy Prison Pit Book 1.
What I want to know, and I'm actually
Did you
really
do-
curious, how do you cover Prison Pit on a show that doesn't cover cursing?
Yeah, okay.
That's a
Okay,
good
I thought
question.
about this the
It's a
whole
legitimate
time I was reading this. We can do it. We can. Dirt and I can do it.
Wow.
It's gonna get a little loony, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, so let's start. Here's this is the spaceship depositing the convicts into
That's his
the
name.
prison pit. Okay,
Other way. There you go.
There you go.
okay, so there it is.
Hey! Yes.
So, if you're wondering,
It's very basic.
if you
There's a principle, a theme of this story.
It's very deep. Into your bowels.
it's hard for you to get the meaning.
It's penetrating storytelling.
Okay, Johnny Ryan, wherever you are out there,
Ain't
I
a good
have
boy.
to meet you. I want
Like-
to see who Johnny Ryan is.
I want. Is he like Gigi Allen? Is he like a type of guy that like cuts himself and then takes a
No, it
dump
reminds
and
me
then
He
wipes
can-
the
dude,
dump
I
on
think
his
he can
cut?
be a bus driver, for all I know. You know.
He reminds
Like
me
Wesley
of some kid I
Willis.
was in the 8th grade with. It was drawing stuff like this in the 8th and 9th grade.
So
I'm on the bus with Johnny Ryan.
the artwork is very
Wow.
simplistic. There's not a lot of deep detail. There's not a lot of
And
shading.
there's no language in that. Those panels.
Yeah, there's no foul language. on it.
Actually, the
Oh, no,
first
there is one right there,
the
but-
first entire issue is almost there's no
There's a half dozen words.
There's not a lot of dialogue, but the dialogue that is there
is meaningful.
is very.
Rich.
It is very passionate.
It's rich.
It's very rich.
Colorful metaphors.
Colorful metaphors.
Now, we on the show we don't say the F word, we don't say the S word, but we will say this one piece of line where he goes, "Sniff, sniff. This place smells like burnt jizz." We can say that because
We can say jizz?
that's not a swear word.
No, it's
Not
like
yet.
the
It's a-
sizzle.
It's a
just a
swear
metaphor sigil.
concept. But he just says, but it says, "Sniff, sniff. This place smells like burnt jizz." Now, if that doesn't give you an idea of the high culture concept going on in this book, where he's reaching out to the artist community,
Mhm.
grabbing it by the testicles and kind of ripping them off and eating them.
There's
And
at
that's
one
the
point,
idea of this
you know,
show.
in some comics they have like action words like kapow. I'm just making
Yeah,
one up.
those
This
are
one
his-
has
the-
stench.
Well, here we go. This whole part where he's cocooned by the dude's intestines. And, all right. First of all, if you want us to describe what is happening, I'll try to simplify it. Dude with
do.
knee pads and black mask,
And black
is-
man pants.
No,
Black-
it's not a mask. It's blood.
blood.
It's blood.
His black head is thrown into a hole onto a planet, surrounded by some kind of force field where the only way out is through the sky and you can't get there. And picture it's a psychedelic experience where I think I described it to Huckster earlier today. I was like,
Did you see
picture-
Superbad?
And he was sober when he did this.
Right. Picture like if you had like a drunken night of insanity, and then that dream that happens that you don't remember, but you remember enough that you're so scared that you even had the dream. That's kind of what this comic book is.
No, here's what it is. This is 200 motels meets Escape from New York meets every Rammstein music video meets Gore,
yeah. Some gore.
meets gay porn. That's what this book is, in a nutshell. If you just had to narrow it down to a nutshell.
So the guy with the knee pads is thrown down on this planet, and he's immediately attacked by the knee pads. I mean, how do you describe? He looks like a Mexican wrestler. Doesn't he look like a Mexican wrestler?
Black, and he's got a black banana hammock.
He did. I definitely got Mexican wrestler.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing with this book.
And he's like your heroine, basically. He's fighting hero, whatever it is.
I mean, you don't know if he's a guy or
he's
a dude.
He's very solid.
What he does to the
he's got a wiener. It's got spikes on it.
There's some ambiguity here. Definitely.
No, there's no ambiguity. He's got a wiener with spikes.
That's true.
Because he uses it as a weapon in a couple spots. But no, here's the thing. Like,
your kids should
if you've ever seen a movie called The Story of Ricky, which is this crazy Japanese movie. In the movie, like, he cuts a guy, and the guy's intestines fall out, and so the guy picks up his intestines and starts strangling the other guy with it. That's kind of along the lines of where this book gets his roots from, except it takes it to the next level. The guy gets cut, his intestines come out, so he picks up the intestines, throws them at the guy, and the intestines wrap around and cocoon him. Then out of the wound of the intestines will grow like new arms, a new head will pop out, he'll cut a guy in half, and the guy will take a dump, pick up the dump, and put it on the wound, and out of the wound will grow like wings, so the body with no top half now has dung wings, it can fly. I mean, just all kinds of crazy concepts.
And our hero, like, comes across, like, this skeleton figure on this, like, cactus. And
crucified on the cactus.
Saguaro? Well, yeah, that's an
alien
planet.
There's like this like
alien
slug monster thing with two arms, like licking it, slurping it, and like apparently this thing is like. Yeah, well, we get into that later. That's a much more complex story.
Complex, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
deeper into the story, see.
Then he runs
the plot thickens.
Then he runs into I can't even show this picture because there's a foul word.
There's a bad word on that. But this slug thing, like apparently this slug thing will eat the excretions of this cactus,
right?
And then you eat the excretions from the slug,
and you trip like have like a psychedelic,
and it's like a steroid psychedelic that makes him strong. All the characters in this book,
these characters need to be on psychedelics.
Every character in this book is like a professional wrestler to the insane degree.
Yes,
like guys with swastika belts,
like a Morning Star hand guy with the swastika belt buckle. There he is.
You should be sold by now.
Yeah, yeah. What more do you want? With like he's got like the rings around his neck, like he's like
it's like a train wreck.
Yeah, it's a complete train wreck. This whole thing,
psychedelic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now again, the
spikes.
But it's like one of those things where like the hero will like rip off somebody's head and like toss it across the desert,
like
and
right here,
and then it'll like turn into like this other demon that like will come at him, and like nobody like.
And see, look, and then out of the decapitated body, it grows new arms and starts to grow a new head and body. And that's pretty basic for what happens in this book. I mean, that's one of the most simple transformations.
Well, that's just the crust.
There's all sorts of like,
let's just say that
rip off a body part and stick it on someone else's body, and then it starts to move again.
As you look around Comiholics HQ, as you're describing this series, everybody is drinking whiskey. Like deeply.
Like this book makes a lot more sense after these three that I've had tonight.
Yes.
Well, and it's crazy. Like, so the hero like tries to find ways to like finally end some of these like creatures that keep like forming more hands and heads and stuff. And he like picks up this like massive boulder and like throws it down on this demon thing where like he keeps growing arms and a head.
Okay, so
Oh yeah. Oh, the
No.
guy. No, hold on. The guy like squirts like something out of his nipple, and it like becomes like this like lactating weapon that like strikes out and hits our hero in the chest, I believe.
all right, so let's start with this. Here's
No, it cuts off and all. That's
It
how he
also
loses.
ends.
That's
Also
how he
end with
loses
that,
his
please.
arm.
here's an opening page. This is the opening of book 2. All right, so you start out. You've got some sort of thing that it's getting a. Oh, I'll have to go the other way. Closer look at, and then you've got this. You're wondering like, what is this I'm looking at? I don't understand what. Oh, okay.
It's even better when you watch it frame by frame.
Yeah.
It takes on a whole new motion.
So like for
Yeah.
instance, so there he is, covered in blood with the worm thing on his arm because the arm got pulled off. So he put the worm thing on his arm to take its
that's
place.
not the best part. That's not the best part. The best part when he's
No,
when he
you
faces
can't show when he's.
the jizz monster alien.
Oh well, you can show that thing. Yeah, that's fine.
But I can't show the
You can't show what the slug does at the end of the issue.
no. I
No.
can't probably show this part either.
No, you can't show that.
No.
You
Well,
can't show
but I
that.
can't say
see it, but
jizz.
I'm pretty
so
sure.
the jizz monster alien turns into like this big,
We got sound effects now. It's a motion comic.
into this like Pizza the Hut kind of creature, and attacks our hero. Kicks his butt. And hold on, no, it gets great. All right, so
It gets great.
it hasn't,
And it gets better.
it hasn't reached its apex yet.
Now wait, here's what I do want to
So
talk.
then the slurm monster takes over where his arm used to be after the guy that like lactated and cut his arm off. See? Aren't you amazed?
Are you done yet? I mean, come on. How many issues of there?
Here we go.
4. There's 4.
There's 4.
It takes him a year to do
That's
a book.
4
There's
too many.
starting in
Well,
2009.
no wonder. This is a masterpiece.
Now
mean,
I
you
do
know
want to
how
talk
long
about.
it'll take to-
I want to talk about the storytelling a little bit. Here you see him. He's ripped off the dude's head and he throws it in the air. So you've got a panel of him throwing. Then you see it in the air. Then you see it kind of spinning around. Then you see it spinning around again. Other way. So then you see it spinning around again, spinning around again, spinning around, and then you see these feet grab it in the air.
Snatch.
And then you see this creature.
Cleverly placed.
So it's
dialogue.
it's very
organic.
The pterodactyl.
the way the story is told is very basic.
It's very organic.
He's not doing a lot of per page layout, master art craftsmanship of trying to get the eye to move panel to panel, as we talk about. It's very simple. It's almost like, I don't know, would you say like a junior high doodle type quality as far as the layout and storytelling
It's
goes.
like
What are you talking about? This is not junior high. This is genius.
But regardless, it is so easy and simple to read. There's no ambiguity. You're never lost. Like
I think you
never
figure it out.
like
Yeah.
you're never sitting there going, "Gee, I wonder what's happening." Like here, like there are lines from his eyes. He sees something. You see a body with a hatchet. He walks over. He grabs it. You know, I mean, it's very basic and simple.
Oh, so how'd you feel about the fact that like another person has fallen into the prison pit and he's looking for our knee pad hero?
Oh, there's the long haired Jesus guy.
Yeah.
And
And he's BA, like, you know, he faces that one dude and just totally kicks his butt.
yeah, one of the things about the book is that he likes to throw a bunch of random stuff in with no real explanation and no real.
But then he'll tie it together. He does tie
But
it
then,
together.
but then it does.
He
and it
does have
work.
that artistic ability where it's
Like
very
the-
creative, where it's, you know, despite the fact that yes, this is bizarre and twisted and really weird and kind of disturbing and icky. Like
Some
you
of the
feel
different characters.
you feel kind of dirty after reading it.
I think that having
But,
the whole cast of characters in one frame would be overwhelming.
Your mind would be blown.
It would be
It
blown.
would explode.
So this is a guy who's looking for our hero.
Mhm.
He apparently has gotten himself thrown into this place purposely so that he can try to find the guy who we've been reading about
Now,
for several volumes.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Our hero has now the slurm hand, and he is knocked unconscious and carried off by the pterodactyl beast.
Sure.
So that's how he's out of the picture. And then this guy shows up, and you know he's like, "Where's the knee pad guy?" And then a couple of the villains you just shown like try to attack him, and he makes quick work of pretty much everybody. I love how they have like the monster head glue, like the glue to glue his body part back together. You know, it's like oh, all you need is just glue. But then he doesn't sound right. Like the words coming out don't make sense. But at the bottom is like the translation.
Right.
Like, I need to take a pee.
Like,
So they're like, well, this is. Oh no, that was really fun. Like so, the dude with the head that got chopped off grew out another head and like attacked this Jesus guy or whatever you call him, the long haired guy, and like sucked him up and basically digested him. And then later on he's like, I gotta pee. So then like he goes behind the boulder and he pees, but he pees out.
I feel
But
like
the dude
the
crawls
dude, like,
out through
of
the
his-
urethra
Yeah.
and
Just
rips
a hole in
And
it,
then like
basically.
rips out like his head brain thing.
this is the
And-
huckster, and I feel like this episode needs a disclaimer that there were no hard drugs involved.
No.
It's just
Like,
one comic.
No.
Here's the guy, for instance. Now he has he's been chained and thrown into the prison pit. Now he cannot break the chains that are holding his hands together. So he uses the chains to decapitate one of the other guys. Now after he decapitates the guy, then once there he is decapitating. Okay. So then we go this way. He gets blood on the chains. Now that there's blood on the chains, he's able to eat the blood on the chains, which breaks the chains, and now he's free.
Mm-hmm.
He could not do that before, but now that there's blood on them, he is able to eat through them. That's the logic of this book. Which is to
Well, he's
say,
a bad little dude.
it's on its own wavelength
This
of
is
how the
It's
story
like the
works.
alternate universe of comic books.
But it works within
This
this
is-
universe.
Yeah.
Like it has its own set of rules, but those rules...
And I like how in the book 3, the bad guys are almost like they're teamed up. It's like a team up of bad guys.
Like they're all working together.
Yeah,
to
whereas
try to-
whereas before, like the bad guys, they were just all bad, and they would just eat each other randomly and kill each other and chop each other's heads off, and then like more things would grow out, and then they fight each other again. And you couldn't even just. It's.
It's
Exhausting.
very
Yeah.
it's survival of the fittest
Yeah.
to the extreme.
Which is why I said like Escape from
But
New York is
The
coming out.
what did you think about the mysterious part where there's like this crazy prismatic contraption growing underneath
Like some
of them?
sort of viral helix.
Yes, and
What
like
did you say,
it's like
Sanhedrin?
dodecahedron.
I thought I was doing good with helix.
Oh yeah, we probably can't show that part.
No, you definitely cannot show that part.
So my apologies to the creative.
If you are under the age of 18, this book is not for you, which means
No.
you will love it. This will be your
But
favorite
we
book
don't
of all time.
recommend it.
Although we can't tell you to read it,
Mm.
but you'll want to.
Your mama might send you to the nervous hospital if she
Mhm.
catches you reading it.
And like,
My
Which
mom
one
was
of you
gonna send me
chose
to
this
nervous
to? Oh,
Good
the hand
boy.
of shame.
no, after Ben Spencer
Genius.
recommended it, and I said, well, he recommended it. Now it's available on
Was this
Comixology.
one of those,
I'm gonna have to buy it.
Was this one of those creative works that they sponsored and like got
No,
on?
no.
Oh, okay.
Now, Johnny Ryan has actually done more comics than this, but this I feel is his.
What has he done?
This is
besides
magnum opus.
this? His coup de grace.
Let me see if I can find.
So in the end, our hero somehow like is in like this chasm and
In
like
the end.
well, the end of book 3. He's in this chasm and he rips open this like portion of it somehow, walks through. He's in this like tunnel, this maze under the earth of the prison pit, and discovers these druids that are worshiping this weird symbol.
Yeah.
He makes quick work of some of them, but they all gang up on him and then somehow absorb into him. And now he's this like weird. He's got this like the symbol on his hand, like this crazy. I don't know. It's getting. I mean, I thought book 1 and 2 were bizarre. Book 3 is bizarro.
Oh, wait till you read 4.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget there's like this like crazy like goop demon, black demon floating around the prison pit.
I feel like the number one rule of this comic should be you do not speak of Prison Pit.
Like we've gone
The
too
first
far.
rule of
We've
Prison
gone too
Pit
far. We
is
said
right.
too much.
Ad
There is
nauseam.
no prison pit.
There is no Prison Pit.
I think the idea of trying to explain it kind of ruins the point of it. Like the whole point is that you
Oh,
cannot
I
explain.
was thoroughly amused at your explanation.
I tried. You know what?
Did not make.
I'm a
any
critic.
sense.
I'm trying.
Trying to
I'm
be serious.
working with what I got here, man.
Read the damn book. It's pretty damn good.
I mean, come on, look at this beast.
Look at it.
How do you describe a creature that looks like that?
Well, that's
Could you
obviously a.
Salvador Dali would go,
It's like
whoa.
it's like a centropede monster.
It's a scorpopede slime beast.
Oh, of course, Scorpio slime beast.
Angry Youth Comics. That was the big one that he did.
Okay.
That was the big underground comic that he was best known for. Was Angry Youth Comics, and that was from Fantagraphics, and that was the big thing that got him the attention.
So now you understand why heavy drinking was involved. We're working hard for you.
Should I show our
now-
exploits for the night?
No, we already did. We know
Now-
what's
now
in it.
again-
Did you see it in this state?
This is available on Comixology. You can order. You can also order them in print. However, you get your hands on this book is worth it.
Yes.
Even if you're only buying digital,
It's fun.
worth it.
It's fun. It's a quick read. Like I told, because I
Yeah,
got,
but I've read each one like 2 or 3 times already, and I've only had them for a couple weeks.
I would park this one by the toilet for
Yeah,
6 months.
yeah. This is one of those. If you wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and it's like
gotta take
you
a
had
poo.
too many tacos for dinner,
Right.
and you know you're gonna be there for a while, it's like, all right, I'm gonna read Prison Pit Book 2 again.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
I do like the clever fade in and out where everything goes black. Like, for example, the guy
It's like a
pooing,
relief.
the guy pooing, and it did not look like a guy
The
pooing.
Like, it's
entire
actually what-
panel of black ink is a relief for your eyes. Like your mind is like, I can do it again.
Oh, I can take a break now.
A break. Oh,
And then it pulls back, and it's poo.
oh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or worse.
I love how the prison pit hero like goes like he finds his arm
Is he a
and he
hero?
tries to like take his. I think he's a hero.
You root for him?
Yes, I want the guy to live.
He is the protagonist.
So
Yeah.
that the
He is
story
the
continues?
protagonist.
Yes, it must. Well, because really, I mean, because then it would just be a bunch of random people being thrown in the prison
If this guy had an action figure, I'd buy it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
with the detachable arm and like the slurm arm.
Oh, yeah.
The question is whether or not the shorts pull down.
Yeah. Ooh.
You
And
know,
if it's
that-
anatomically correct.
and spiky.
As are later versions of
In book 4, inside that big like cauldron spiky
Prison
thing, he actually busts a hole. He finds like the main computer that runs it. He busts a hole in it, and the hole, of course, is shaped kind of like this,
Don't know
which
what that
means that he
Oh.
he
wow.
decides it's time to take the spiky thing to it and try to break it. And that is
Does-
a
does
big.
he sell-
And
That's
that's
a
at least
big-
8 panels.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a big part of book 4. Is just him trying to destroy this computer.
well, I guess we'll find out next time.
I've often done
Uh,
that. To
well-
my
I
computer.
wait.
To be
in anticipation,
continued because
yeah.
I haven't read book 4 yet. So
Now the only problem is he seems to release one of these a year, so it takes him like a whole year to do 122
So you got plenty of
pages.
time
Genius
to
needs
catch
to
up.
be
And book 4 just came out in September of 2012.
concentrated.
So we're gonna have to wait until September or October of 2013 to get book 5, which is so maddening because we've gotten these first 4 books so quickly, the way they've been released on Comixology, that I finally caught up. But now that I'm caught up, I want more. Like he
Right.
needs to hire 20 guys in a studio
Mhm.
and just start churning
he
these
needs
things
a
out.
team of writers.
Just start making them like crazy. Like him with like the South
Can you
Park
imagine a
guys.
release
room
for
full of
having
whiteboards.
to work for this guy?
What's that?
It could also, like, degrade the quality of it.
Well, yeah.
No, that
It
I
takes
don't-
a
I
whole
don't-
year to concentrate the wealth
You know,
of artistic
Look what happened to Star Wars.
expression.
It's almost. Yeah.
I don't know. I could see this one going for the rest of this guy's life. And mine, for that matter.
So Prison Pit.
Prison Pit, highest recommendation ever in the history of the
Prison Pit.
I need more whiskey.
Have you had enough, folks? Do you need more?
Is there any left?
If you need more, tell
Just a
us.
little bit left.
You know how you can tell us? You can reach
Where's your glass?
Apocalypse
Oh, hold on, let me
at
just find
ineedcomics.com,
Or Comiholics.com.
comaholics.com, and you can reach Dirt at.
Dirt at Comiholics.com.
There you go. So let us know. Do you want us to cover
Oh,
Prison
look at
Pit
that.
4?
Look at that. See, look, we're almost done.
Do you see what happens? Do you see what happens, Larry?
Don't be like this, Larry.
They're
ready?
not alcoholics.
Everybody ready? You ready for this? You ready to do this? You could chug yours the same way I do mine.
I'm not gonna chug this.
Chug the entire
It
thing.
tastes too good. This is good stuff.
Chug the entire thing.
I'm not gonna disrespect the maker's mark.
Oh, look, the maker's mark is the mark of the beast. So you chug it.
No.
Here.
Good stuff. All right,
So,
guys.
thank you.
Don't forget to check out
Thank you for
IneedComics.com for
joining
more
us.
comic book reviews. We've got
Really.
Tim Dog from the Click Nation
Mhm.
is doing comic reviews for us now.
Good
so
stuff, too.
we're happy to see that. You can also go to That New Toy Smell, check out our toy coverage. Go to just popculturenetwork.com. You can see everything that we're doing there. Don't forget to go to jointheforums.com. You can get in on all the discussion. You want to talk about toys, video games, comic books, anything like that, you can cover that. We got some new video game reviews from VGLosers.com coming up. We got Nick, the toy columnist, is going to start doing some movie stuff as well with his Movie Mania column, as well as doing the Spotlight. So you can look forward to that kind of stuff. Also, don't forget, if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can always call our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025. If you want to call at 3 o'clock in the morning and
Oh, I
leave a
keep a
voicemail,
phone by my head. I'm just like, why don't they call?
yeah, so wake him up at 3 o'clock in the morning and let him know how
What's
much
that
you love
number again?
Prison. It's area code 217-953-4025.
Uh-oh.
He's going to leave a message right now. Yeah, make sure you say something dirty. Deep voice. That way it sounds like Barry White.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Comiholics.